9 to noon radio show continues from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, Vikings.com. What's going on? Mike Keith, a quarter-century play-by-play voice for the Tennessee Titans, is still here. And the 41st governor of the state of Minnesota, Tim Walz, has stopped by the 9 to noon radio show. He's here for the joint practices today. But nevertheless, what brings you here today, Governor?
Well, football, for one thing. I said I come about this somewhat more honestly than being governor. I said those years of coaching high school football and all the Mankato training camps, but it is great to be in this facility, world class, and it's exciting. It's great to see our friends here, Titans. So,
well, thank you for being here to welcome me. I've never.
We do that for everybody.
You do that for every announcer
Minnesota
from another
nice.
team. Yeah.
Everybody who visits Minnesota, I'm there at the airport.
I'm moving here now.
All right,
well, thank you.
All right, so I know you coached Mankato West, correct?
I did.
You won a state title with Mankato West.
We did.
As head coach of the team, right?
Defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Rick Sutton was head coaching that. He and Tom Boone, and they turned that into a little bit of a dynasty down there. So obviously it wasn't me because they kept winning after I left. But that high school football's a lot of fun. We got a chance to play out here on this field once too.
Wow.
That was really great.
At the TCO Stadium. That's really good what they do for kids and high schools on Friday night.
Huge.
To play at a professional team facility with the Friday night lights and a big crowd on a beautiful field. It's terrific.
Oh, Vikings always been good partners with high school. I said I kind of miss the days when Randy Moss would stop by the practice and throw the ball around with the kids down there at West High School. Those days are a little bit in the past, but you still bring folks in. I see all the kids down there on the field right now, and so it's a good time of year. Everything's possible.
Absolutely.
17-0 is possible. So there you go.
So Governor, so when you were at Mankato West and Craig Dahl.
Yeah.
Played at Mankato East.
Oh, yeah.
Was it East?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the stupid question, I apologize for not knowing this. Did you coordinate against him?
Yeah.
Well, he was a monster.
Yeah, and what I remember the first time I ever saw this kid, they were playing a freshman game. I believe they played on Monday nights, or a B-squad game, and he was a freshman. And they sent me up there to scout, to scout East. So I'm sitting up in the stands, and I see this man amongst boys.
Yeah.
First play of the game goes around the left end or whatever, and I remember the only notes I brought back is I said, we may be in trouble for a couple of years with this kid.
Well, he was a safety on defense too, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah, because I was at Jerry Brown Stadium, St. Thomas Academy.
Yeah.
And Mankato East sections, whatever you call it, early stages of the postseason against a good cadets team.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching this lanky doll in this black uniform, just this imposing presence, run it and then play safety. And I'm like, this is unbelievable.
And we had good teams then, but this kid was.
He had a nice NFL career.
Yeah, when you see this, you come out, and we were playing 4A at that time or whatever, but this kid was as a freshman.
Okay, so if Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator here, Governor, if he's like, all right, you got an hour with my one defense to draw up one series of plays, could you do it?
Yeah.
Your defensive coordinating mind.
I watched this high school game change so much. I came from Nebraska originally, and high school football is pretty big in Nebraska. And brought in we were guard reading on defense, which was just such an innovation at that time, because you never false pull. No one was doing that. So our linebackers seemed to be on the play every time.
Yeah.
I watch now, this man-to-man coverage that high school kids play, lock up on the island and do it. So I don't know. I don't know if the game's passed me by, but I'll tell you what, it has certainly become fun to watch, sophisticated. Imagine high school quarterbacks throwing for 3,000 yards would have been unbelievable. They're doing it on a regular basis
right.
now. So.
Now, being a governor, I would imagine no matter how well you've done with something to serve and help millions or something that's perceived to be poor, is certain facets of your job have to be elevator music. I mean, in one ear, out the other. And the correlation to where you are now is if you are a coach or a player and you go for 175 and 4, well, you ain't that good every single week. Or if you fumbled with 2 minutes to go and it cost the team the game, you're also not the biggest loser ever. I mean, I find that to be a correlation between what you do and what they do.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you live with yourself. You do the best you can. You prepare the best you can. You listen and surround yourself by good folks. You try the best to execute, and then you take responsibility if something doesn't go wrong, the way you want to. Like, this didn't go as well as I could. I think the hardest thing is that people expect either a good or a bad result. sometimes there's only just less bad
Right.
results, and that's really hard to kind of sell. And no one wants to hear that this is going to, we saw it during pandemics and things.
Yeah.
Look, this is not going to be great, but it could be worse type of thing. That doesn't really fly in football. Look, we got close, but we didn't quite win. That doesn't do it. So
lastly, because I know you have to go, I'm in the Lester Bagley meat grinder right here. In closing, when it comes to you just said the hardest thing. Well, I envision maybe not the hardest thing. I'm not a best ever or worst ever kind of guy. But nevertheless, we got a certain football game coming up here in a couple of weeks where it's a season opener for the Golden Gophers football team against
I know.
Oh, yeah, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, your lifetime favorite team, but
This
you're
is
the
tough.
governor of our state. What are you going to do?
Kevin,
How do you do that?
Yeah, this is tough politics. Well, I used to wear the shirt underneath or whatever, but I'll tell you, it's been a lot easier. Gophers won 5 out of the last 6.
Ooh.
They've kind of struggled down there. I'm an unabashed kind of row the boat guy.
Yeah.
I think we do good stuff here. Gophers will win that game. So my buddies come down, my Nebraska buddies, old high school buddies. We played football together. They come down and watch this game, and I'll be decked out in my Gopher gear. And so I hope we do it again.
Okay, well, wow, but hold on, you're a lifetime Huskers fan.
I know.
So,
well,
sir,
it's
I mean,
gotten
with all
easier
due
the last 20 years. That ship has.
But with all due respect, Governor, are you being true to yourself?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Because that's politics.
Here's the thing, though. I lost a little bit of this. The Frank Solich firing was the one that broke my heart.
It was a crusher for Huskers.
Crusher for us. And I think there it felt like there was something different. Now, I got to say this. Trev Albert's back on down there as the AD.
Oh, yeah.
That brought some of this back.
Yeah.
I think
Matt Rule.
Matt Rule.
Oh,
you know
Matt
Matt
Rule.
Rule.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
I think
Great hire.
All those
think it's a
tricks
great
he's going to
hire.
have? Holy cow.
So we'll see. I have to say, if I want to see the Huskers do well, just not that game.
Hey, you want to hearken to the Tommy Frazier days.
Oh, my goodness. We lived that. And Tom Osborne, here's the final story I'll give you. Go to Congress. Tom Osborne is leaving. In my first year, I'm getting there, so we're passing kind of in the night. Well, Tom Osborne had been the coach of the congressional football game.
Yeah.
I got that honor of taking over with it.
Wow.
And I went 0-4 during that time. So yes, Coach Osborne is irreplaceable. So,
Governor, that was an honor. My pleasure meeting you, and thank you very much for stopping by.
Kevin, thanks. Good to meet you.
Yep, no problem. That's Tim Walz, the 41st governor of the state of Minnesota. Thank you, Lester. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody.